Hey guys, this is Rigorous to Shine Awareness. Today I just want to do a special vlog. It's about survival of the fittest, or the term survival of the fittest, and what does it really mean to survive, and is it more important to survive or to thrive? The definition of surviving, if you look it up, is to remain alive, to overcome traumatic situations or hardships. The definition of thriving is to flourish and to prosper, to grow and develop while flourishing and prospering. So I think thriving just seems to be something that we need to make a goal, as opposed to just surviving and merely getting by and overcoming. That is the first step. However, we also need to learn to adjust our mindsets that we may thrive and become prosperous in our thoughts and in our actions. I just want to start with the misquote that only the strongest survive. And I've always been against that. I always thought that that doesn't make any sense. I'm a big animal lover. I love science. I'm a science head. And when you think about it from a scientific point of view, and you think about the strongest surviving, only the strong survive, that cannot be true. If you believe that dinosaurs did exist, or other animals that which aren't here today did exist in the past, especially these very big animals, where are they now? Where are they today? I mean, the only thing that we really have to go by are their bones, and the fact that they are extinct, that they did exist in the past and that they no longer exist here in the present. However, these were strong animals. And if you don't get what I'm talking about dinosaurs, giant apes, giant mammals, woolly mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, humongous whales that used to live in the ocean, and sharks. I think that what people did or what a group of individuals called the social Darwinists did, was take some of the things that Darwin wrote about evolution in The Origin of Species, and pretty much misunderstood the whole process of evolution and what he was trying to convey with his theories, and pretty much presented this whole term. And I say Herbert Spencer came up with the term survival of the fittest. He was a social Darwinist, and he used that to imply that when individuals are pit against each other, that there's this competition, and it's about trying to get rid of the other individuals and remain on top so that you can extend your lineage and be the most successful. However, that again is only short-lived. It's only temporary. So again, we revert back to the fact that only the strongest survive. Is it true? So going back to it, if you do, again, like I say, if you do believe in science, in evolution, and you do your research, you will see that there have been some really, really fantastic and amazing animals that have walked this earth that no longer walk this earth. And even when it comes to human beings, Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, those were like the last of the human prototypes. If it's really bronze or strength that determines your survival status here on this earth, then what happened to all of these great that graced this earth? There was a really giant ape species called Gigantopithecus, and if you think of King Kong, that was probably what Gigantopithecus looked like. And there was this humongous ape species that was big. If you think of King Kong is humongous. I mean, how is it that that Gigantopithecus did not survive past the other human prototypes that were evolving at the time, that were in existence along with it? The smaller human prototypes that were emerging or evolving at the time ended up outlasting Gigantopithecus, who went extinct. I don't think that a physical strength alone that determines your survival status. I think that there are other elements that play in, and I wish people would kind of just do their research and just broaden their horizons and just think outside of the box, because when you really just think common sense, some things just don't make sense. I think strength is measured in many ways. You can be strong mentally and you can be strong physically. You can have both. You can be strong in one area and be weak in another. We all have our strengths. We all have our weaknesses. However, our strengths and our weaknesses do not completely define us because, again, there's also the strength also comes in adaptability and growth. So, when you have people that criticize other people for changing, oh, they changed, oh, they never changed, they're still the same person. No. Maybe you're still the same person because you don't have the strength to change. However, change within itself, or the adaptability toward change, is a strength within itself. Growth is a strength within itself. And I say that because it's scientifically proven, if you do believe in evolution, that, again, we're going back to the factor that bronze is not the only thing that keeps species surviving, but it's also adaptability and flexibility and being able to survive your circumstances, and also environmental changes. Change is inevitable. It's something that is constant. It's the only thing here on earth that is constant and will continue to be constant. Change. So if you do not change and you stay the same, you're going to continue to experience the same blocks and the same things that you're experiencing. Now, if you're experiencing just love and laughter and peace and happiness, then fuck it, don't change. However, if you're not and you're feeling like you're struggling, then change is something that you just might need to embrace and become a little bit more flexible and adaptable toward it, so that you may experience a little bit more happiness and joy in your life, as opposed to being miserable and spreading your misery around. Change is open for everyone. Every day that you're given breath is a chance to change mentally. And to change your circumstances. And I say this, reverting back to science, the strongest species that have survived are the species that changed, that were able to adapt to their environment. You have to understand that the environment throws a lot of things at you. Life throws a lot of things at you. To be able to be flexible to overcome those struggles. A lot of species had to undergo the lack of vegetation. The vegetation that they normally ate died out. What do you then have to do? You have to learn how to find some sort of other source of food so that you may continue to survive, populate, and expand your lineage. If a species wasn't able to adapt to another form of eating another form of food, they'll eventually die out from starvation, which happens to many animals. Having to adapt to temperature changes. If the sun got way too hot and you're not, if you're not used to that, you have to learn how to adapt within your body and bring your and work with your homeostasis and be able to be flexible enough to survive the temperatures. Like the climate's getting hotter now, and you're noticing a lot of animals that may have lived in other territories are now coming into territories where they never really were seen before, such as coyotes coming into New York City. I'm seeing raccoons and possums in places where I've never seen raccoons and possums in my life, in the hood, in the urban communities. And you're like, where are raccoons and possums coming from? But you know what? They're trying to survive. They see that we have lots of food we throw out, so they're coming into our communities and they're making themselves at home to our garbage and our food, because they're trying to survive and adapt to the environmental changes that are going on. And this is going on with a lot of species now, and we can see it even more now than we probably could have ever seen before, because of the drastic changes that are now happening. So I just want to conclude by saying brute strength does not guarantee long-term survival. I don't think any one characteristic determines long-term survival. However, I do feel the best hope for humans is to remain adaptable and flexible. And I want to encourage you to remain adaptable and flexible to your circumstances, to your struggles, to persevere and not only survive but thrive. There are some species who have been around since times of the dinosaurs, such as alligators and crocodiles and and some of the little mammals, and insects that are actually not only surviving, but they thrive because they haven't even changed physically. They're just continuing to go down into history. I want to encourage you to thrive, to be prosperous, and I think the best way that you can do that is to adjust your attitude toward life, your attitude toward others. Oftentimes we think of survivalist of the fittest as individual being put against individual and you trying to just push out your competition. However, your competition isn't always other individuals. Your competition is sometimes yourself. Your competition is sometimes the environment, and your competition is sometimes the circumstances that you have to overcome in your life. So I want to encourage you to thrive, to not only survive, but to thrive, and to stop thinking that it's just strength, that you have to be the biggest and the baddest. You know what? That whole term of working hard, I'm totally against it. I believe in working smart. I believe in using your mind. We are on top of the food chain not because of our bronze and our strength, but because of our potential intelligence. So I want to encourage you to expand your mind, to do research, to educate yourself, and to motivate and educate other people so that we can not only survive but thrive as a people within our urban communities and expand outward. To Shine Awareness, Rigorous Hair. Talk to you guys later. Love, peace, prosperity, happiness, everything good and positive.